Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to today's live show. Today we're going to be doing a bunch of looks out there, but we have to remember the main take here is this is something we've been talking about. We talked about the fact that we marked off that 584.50, and if we exceeded that level, we might see some kind of squeeze. We crossed over on the volatility, right, the VIX, and so we have to pay attention to upside, and we're looking for reversal signals. If this is some kind of trap right now, maybe for some kind of corrective move, then maybe we lead into some kind of Santa rally. We'll see what we have in store here today. That 2 hour does not have any reversal signals. We might get some kind of 2 hour pullback, but there is always the opportunity to make a 30-minute divergence first. So I think something good to pay attention to is that upside expected move. For the daily expected moves for the SPY, we do have 601.86 to the upside, and we have 595.66 to the downside. The Qs, we have, wait for you now. Yeah, I'm still waiting because we still have to see if this is going to curl up, okay? But 517.45 to the upside, and we do have 510.23 to the downside. Now, it's a good thing, Nigel, that you're pointing out. We could see that reversal without any, you always can see it. Sometimes things move a little bit differently, not necessarily in tandem. And you do have reversal signals from something like IWM, so we'll pay attention if that one's able to. But as we're so close to the weekly, you always have that chance for some kind of little move like this before we actually drop. But we notice there is divergence on IWM. Another one is DIA. You just don't have it across the board. So you do have it on the DIA. You can see that this is coming down just a little bit. You can see that price action going up. You can see that going down on your MACD. So this is very controlled though, and we're so close to that weekly expected move that we might tag that first. So you might see this turn up again and get rid of this, and then you'll want to watch out for the next one. And then that would lead us into most likely that 2 hour pullback. But that is what is being suggested right now. But it's important to note you're still in a short squeeze. So am I going to take some kind of short position here? Not necessarily. I don't think that this will be anything too crazy. I mean, something crazy can always happen, but we just don't have like great reversal signals across the board for it. But the opportunity really would be if this 2 hour can get by that center line, just curl up, right? If this can go down, maybe do a weekly expected move downside and then turn up into positive territory, that would be a solid little look there. So that's something that I'm going to be paying attention to. And we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. That's going to be important. But we can notice that Apple was one thing I wanted to look at today. Remember, this one tagged a weekly expected move on the dot and is bouncing. It curled up on the 30-minute. If that thing can go positive, you can test this high, go make a new one. We'll watch out for rejection as that 2 hour has crossed. And maybe this one sets up an opportunity for a bullish play. Some kind of reversal to the upside, but that 30-minute heading up does give you the opportunity right now to actually test that high, go make a new one. Going to be a little bit of a struggle just because it's a little negative, but that's one that I'm paying attention to. Tesla, major upward moves. This one is very likely to pull back like soon. It's a very upward move, and we haven't retested that 5 in a while. So I think a retest of the 5 would be there. That might be that 2 hour pullback that we're talking about. We can always watch a 30 minutes, see if that's able to curl up first. And I think that's going to be important for something like Tesla. Tesla reacting exactly pretty much up to the weekly expected move and outside of the monthly expected move. So a lot of probability saying, hey, we at least need to go down, maybe use those moves, that monthly, as some kind of support. So that would be interesting because Tesla is seeing something absolutely crazy here. You want to go look at Meta real quick on this 4 hour chart that you're looking at. Well, we got to look at the 4 hour here. If that crosses, it would suggest this can be a little bit worse. It can suggest that things can be a little bit worse, right? So that's just what the 4 hour would say, but that's going to take some time to cross, right? We might want to look at something a little closer. I would say the 30-minute. If this 30-minute can cross up, you're retesting the 5. That's the big deal with some of these looks. Like Tesla hasn't retested its 5, Meta has. And maybe Tesla wants to go make a reversal signal before it does actually go test the 5. But this would suggest if this can cross, if we can hold upward price action here, it would suggest that we're going to test that high, go make a new one. We do have weekly expected moves on Patreon for you for Meta. But yeah, you're right in saying, yeah, if the 4 hour is able to curl down, you're going to be, if you can't hold up at these lows, you're going to make that new low, and that's going to be a little bit worrisome. But I would just say the 2 hour as well is something you can watch a little bit closer for a retest of these lows in here. So that's something to look at. Now, one thing we did talk about in last night's video was TLT, and we did mention the fact that this can curl down, right? This is where you go, okay, the bullish thing would be to curl up into positive territory on this 30-minute. If it's going to head down lower, we actually might head all the way down to 90.85, see that curl down for a moment, and then we'll see if that can curl back up. But if this does cross, it is by negative territory, so that just tells you, hey, if this does cross, you can test this low. But we do have potential structure that can form if we dip a little bit lower. That would still be okay. We can notice we have a pretty good breakout area right here, and a head and shoulders might pop up for you. Oh shoot, I don't have the camera on. Come on, we gotta have the camera on. You guys can see I'm really here. This isn't AI or something, you know what I mean? Something we're still paying attention to for volatility is, are we going to see some kind of pop to get that little pullback? And then are we going to see that drop again to get that another push higher? And I think that's the most likely thing here. As this MACD keeps creeping up to that center line, look for that to cross back down, and then we'll see if an actual reversal signal pops up. I'm going to say it multiple times throughout the day. We still do not see any reversal signals that really give us a big hint. The only one that we have to maybe pay attention to is going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA here on the daily. If NVIDIA is able to curl over on the daily, that would suggest a little more weakness can come in. I'm not necessarily leaning towards it with the look across the board when we look at all these stocks, but something that we can see here is you're getting a nice 30-minute down by the center line. You're curling up into positive. It looks a lot like Meta, right? Some spiking down, some flagging, some spiking down, and then now we're testing that 5. So if that can curl up, we would expect positivity. And good morning, Bowdy. Good morning, Kied. Good morning, Mark, Orchid. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Something we're paying attention to is AMC. If AMC is able to curl down on a 30-minute, it usually means not the moment. If GME is able to curl down on a 30-minute, it usually means not the moment. So as we approach that weekly expected move, because I do have plays in GME and AMC, what I was overall doing was actually taking keeping my long position, but also taking a downward position just to kind of hedge that a little bit. For GME, it saw a strong move. It's going up. It's outside of a monthly, and it was going up towards a weekly. And we did have a little divergence in here. You can see it on the 15-minute, but I don't like 15-minute charts too much. I like 30-minute signals. So what I want to do here is just hedge a little bit, see if that can go react down and retest that 5, right? So I just have a very small position to hedge that move, and then I can sell that position and maybe add more later on if that's going to curl up into positive territory. That's just something I wanted to share. It's something good that I think people can learn, is sometimes if you really want something looks good on those bigger time frames, but you're seeing it on the shorter time frames and you don't want to sell that position, well, then you can see if that's going to be a good hedge. So just a small amount in there to hedge that as we approach the weekly expected move, with a little divergence here on the RSI, which is just suggesting that would be a pullback. You're very positive. But IWM will be interesting. DIA will be interesting. We have a lot of stuff that will be interesting as it opens up this morning. Mara with a massive, massive move going up into our zone, kind of tapping out here. No reversal signals though for Mara. So something good to look at is still going to be Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of flushing here a little bit. You're seeing 2 hour, okay, 2 hour just curling down, no reversal here, even on a 2 hour. Okay, so most likely this is just going to get by that center line and curl up into positive territory. Get by to that center line, turn up into positive territory on the 2 hour. That would be a good look. If it's going to be a little bit bigger, which it might be because you're very high up, the 4 hour might need to come all the way down, and you might need to go back into this liquidity towards 76.7K. That would be an interesting spot. This little block in here is something I'm watching because it lines up with the breakout area. So there's kind of a box in here. If you really see it, you see where this high came, you see where the highs were in the past, you see this block in here. So anywhere in this little box is where I'm paying attention for Bitcoin to see some kind of bounce. The good part for Bitcoin though was the signal before this move, right? It was the signal before this move. Pretty good divergence, pretty downward price action, one little blip here to fake you out, but ended up proving to be upside there. We even got another one here for this little run. So as long as we keep following those signals, I think we'll be just fine. Palantir, this one's seeing something absolutely crazy, right? This is a massive one. This is pretty much as big as, you know, Tesla's big move at this point. And the 2 hour pulling back would be a good thing. Do we see reversal signals for that to happen? We do for Palantir. So Palantir has more of an argument to get that 2 hour pullback. But that's how I'm seeing it as of right now. So I think the main thing is going to be, you know, watching this 30-minute. And this 30-minute curl up into positive territory? If so, then we expect that to go to a daily expected move. Happy positive vibes. Good morning, good morning. Is Tesla a pullback? I mean, in order for an opportunity, you need to see, you know, some kind of pullback, but Tesla's one that maybe needs to make that divergence first. So even if that 30-minute comes down a little bit, watch if that turns around and does this, because you're at a weekly expected move with these touches here. And so if we actually create a reversal signal, that's when we can pay attention. This is just everything we wait for after a big move and in the course, right? It's all in the course, how you actually look at this. And you actually see that this is, hey, okay, a weekly expected move, but do I see reversal signals is the next question. You always say, hey, we're tagging a weekly expected move. Do I see reversal signals? No? Okay, then we can go higher, right? I need those multiple reasons to take a position, and that's something that I'm really tooting the horn of today. Yeah, GME is very simple, actually, and we'll go over it another time before the open here, just showing GME. GME here is suggesting there can be a 2-hour pullback, but it's also suggesting, hey, this could just be a 30-minute pullback for now, because you do have a divergence on the RSI, not on the MACD at the same time. And you're up towards that weekly expected move, which is where the fight really begins. You're outside of a monthly, but you're touching a weekly as well. So the thing with GME is if this 30-minute crosses down, it kind of means not the moment. And then if it can turn back up, then you would say yes. But sometimes, or at least I think when it happened the big time years ago, it did curl down on the 30-minute, and then it just gapped up by like 10% and went. So you have to realize that you're getting out of this position, and then if that curl up does happen, that could be a gap up. Usually it happens on a Monday. So if we see these 2 hours really basing out or a reversal signal on a Friday, hey, we can think about looking at that play. Right, that's why the way that I overall do it is, one, I'm hedging this time, which is fun, right? Just trying to get a little quick double in there to pay for my next position, right? I'm just kind of playing multiple different positions to actually keep funding my GME and AMC, say, calls that I just kind of do every single month for fun. That's just a way to kind of hedge and not ever really lose too much on these plays. And then you just hold the stock and hope that thing goes up. But you don't have reversal signals. Just so you're aware, when the big moment does happen, AMC did give a divergence at the very top. I should go screenshot that and show it to you guys sometime. I should put that on a video and show it to you guys, because it was pretty cool when I did my research on it. Gold's seeing something crazy actually this morning. So gold, one, it is down in an area where you definitely can get a bounce. If you're part of Patreon, you know why. But this area obviously would be important. That does line up with a few other reasons that this could bounce. And the 30-minute here, you're showing very flat on the RSI, but you know, not necessarily. Yeah, you're still lower than it here. So this could just be some kind of bounce that actually curls down into negative territory. I just got to make a few little moves here. Trying to react quickly there. All right, let's go look at AMC and GME. So the key thing here is, does the 30-minute cross down? That's going to be the thing. So if either one of these are able to curl down on a 30-minute, we would expect more of a pullback to come, at least to maybe retest that 5-day moving average. And that's the big thing. All right, awesome. And AMC, you're seeing that thing start to come down. Pretty good little gap there. We'll see if that can curl down. AMC can see a little bit more weakness, by the way, because it is closer to the center line, but it's still far enough up that making a little higher low would make sense. But if this crosses, you've got to be aware that that can go negative and actually cut this low and go make a new one. And wow, that thing is a flushing right now. 5% down for GME, and we have 3% down now for AMC. So really fighting the stock. Check the futures on gold. Yeah, we can look at the futures on gold. Let's see if this actually gave you anything, because you're seeing this. Okay, so that 30-minute there, but I don't like 30 minutes in futures too often, but they do lead to bounces. You can see the rejection one led to this. This is actually giving you the divergence. What's going to happen here? Well, you're in an area where you really should bounce. Right, we actually chopped that low. You can see that in the futures. That's why I was talking about gold. We chopped that low, but we open in the regular market right at this level. So if the 2 hour is able to bounce here, you do have a divergence on the MACD, not the RSI. So that's just telling me, hey, this could get a reaction. But watch when it starts to test these areas in here, because that will be, oh, do we see that actually rolling back over? This is very negative. Yes, it has a MACD divergence, but if that fails to go positive and rejects and rolls over right here, you can start to see how that would be a problem. Nice. Solid, solid, solid. I was able to sell it right away. All right, let me pull up some charts here. I'm sorry if I don't look at chat for a moment. I just have to look at this trade and see if it was a good sell. I wanted to sell it right away in the morning. Okay, it was a good sell. Okay, good. So I had 2 plays on AMC and I sold one this morning just to make profit on it. And now I can keep the other one and be like, all right, cool. Now I have no risk in this at all. Very fun. All right, let's go back over to the SPY though. I mean, I know we were looking at this. So that 30-minute divergence would suggest, and the 2 hour little divergence here says this could be a strong move. And maybe that strong move, if it's really, really strong, if it's really, really strong here, where you can test is all the way up towards here. All the way up towards here. You can really see how this was the overall breakdown area. So if you get a solid reaction, I am expecting that kind of reaction if it's a good one. And you do have one form of divergence saying this can be a strong bounce. So some levels here, this one right here, that would line up with the 5. So pay attention to that first. But then there's this little block in here that I would be watching as well. DLT, we'll see if that curls down on a 2 hour. Okay, let's go back over to the SPY. We're gonna look at this 2 hour, see if that's crossed over. I don't think it is, but we'll see. My stuff wants to load. Of course, it's not gonna load. There you go. So you notice the 2 hour hasn't crossed yet, and we have to wait till, you really wanna see that full bar completed. That's going to be a big deal. You can notice that the 30-minute here could curl up into positive territory, and that's going to be key. And maybe one of the stocks able to do it is Apple. Apple kind of getting some resistance at the top of our zone. If you look in the micro structure, you might see this as some kind of cup that's getting a little 1 minute, 5 minute handle or something like that. You do want to consolidate. This is some good resistance up at 225.84, so it is good to get that consolidation before breaking through. Amazon trying to curl up here, kind of fading the move as of now. So not able to curl up just yet. You do have other swing trade signals confirming a lot on other charts. And IWM, we have to watch that one too. So we'll go back over to the SPY. We'll leave it there for a second. Let me look around on some other charts. We'll see if the SPY can rotate up. See this, we don't have 30-minute reversal signals. So I should not have any real arguments for this turning down unless that 2 hour can show me weakness. Then that can say, okay, now that 2 hour might even just experience a pullback with time. We could just remain flat. We've seen that before in these squeezes. It's a big buying pressure here at the bottom of the wick here for AMC. I really want to see. Oh, one thing to notice though, oh, whoops, I just deleted something on my other charts. Damn it. And yeah, we're allowing the 5. The 5 is starting to catch up here. It looks like we might actually do that little 30-minute divergence. Now, that doesn't have to make a divergence, by the way. This just means positivity. If that shows its face, then we can react and say, hey, higher probability to see the 2 hour pullback, and then we can react, right? So we're still talking about bullishness. We're just waiting for the opportunity, which I believe is the title of the stream right now. Now let's look, because GME struggling. See, if GME can confirm that in 23 minutes, I'm a little bit worried about it. A little bit worried about that for GME, honestly. Because that is a negative bar. Leave behind a gap, which is pretty cool. All right, let's see. You remember at the beginning of the week or over the weekend, we were talking about the structure to head down. 30-minute divergence curls down the 2-hour, 2-hour divergence gets created later, and then we see this. That's when we can start to talk about some kind of corrective move. I still think we have the opportunity to correct and then end up going higher, actually. If we see this correction soon, I think we could get that little Santa rally. I really want to think about it, and I'm like, okay, well, if really, like, AMC and GME are starting to do stuff, if these people want their bonuses and things like that, they would try to hold the market up as high as they can come January. And I think this new administration coming in, some of the policies could lead to some recession scares there. So we'll see. NVIDIA, okay, NVIDIA's doing it. So this is going to be big. NVIDIA is a big stock that is curling up into positive territory. That's a big deal. Amazon trying to do it. We got stocks like Meta trying to do it, doing great at it, already doing it. So we'll see if in 22 minutes I can hold. Microsoft trying to do it, right? So we'll see if that can happen. Google trying to curl up one more time, right? It's very flaggy in here for Google. I don't necessarily like the look, but you reacted sideways and now the 5 has caught up and now you can see that extension. Even things probably like Netflix. Now Netflix, ooh, okay, so Netflix, a little bit more of arguments here for the 2-hour to actually pull back. Okay, a little bit more arguments there for the 2-hour to pull back. You do have the divergence on the MACD, not on the RSI at the same time. You have it in the near price action, but not across the way between the two highs in here, right? You don't really have it. So that tells me even something like Netflix can be tight. It can do this and then that, and then we'll pay attention at that point. So that's what we'll do. I think you would need Apple to participate here though. So as that 2 hours cross down, not a good sign. That 30-minute is still curled up. So you kind of have a contradiction between two time frames. I always lean towards the bigger one until I really see some kind of breakout moment. So I'm really still just going to wait on Apple, see if that can make some kind of upward move, get past 225.84. That would be a good inclination that you're going to test the high and go make a new one. Tesla, really pulling back with time. Okay, pulling back with time. If this can continue, you can keep doing this and then see that 30-minute turn up later on in the week. And that's what I'd be more paying attention to for the 2-hour pullback. I will not be taking short positions in any way. Notice that I'm talking a lot differently about this move, taking short positions. I'm not saying that this is going to be some kind of massive drop with a 30-minute divergence. Volatility has overall subsided. We are in a short squeeze. These things usually do continue for a few curl ups, and we have not seen even one divergence pop up for the 30-minute on the MACD and RSI at the same time for the SPY or the Qs. You are seeing it for the DIA and IWM, so that's very interesting. But you'll see we're close to those weekly expected moves. I'm just going to tout that again. We're so close to those moves that we might get that reaction up and then we see that actually fall down. So that's just what I'm being aware of. IWM, same story, right? We might see that reaction up and then see that fall down and then see that 2-hour able to curl back up. And that all could just move sideways on that 2-hour or a little bit down, be controlled. That would be nice. AMC actually going positive there. There you go. Good job, AMC. Good job, AMC. You did it. You're doing it. Look at you. If you guys didn't notice AMC right now, you're seeing, hey, big wick down. Ooh, big wick up. So that 30-minute not able to cross just yet. A little bit different for GameStop. A little bit different for GameStop. Had the divergence in here. AMC, that one's different from GameStop because it does not have divergence in here. And you did get excited. So actually this wick makes a lot of sense, right? You get excited, you would have wanted a cup, get that handle and turn up into positive territory, and that wick just went and grabbed some buyers. So very interesting behavior there. We'll just see if that remains crossed for GME, because that would suggest we're going to see this thing pull back for a little bit of time. Oh yeah, volatility. Really wanted to see if this is still able to hold this floor for some kind of move. The 2 hour though, still curling up, right? Holding even. So honestly, with this daily curl down, we have to expect this can continue. This can continue all the way down to 1212. I think if we can get some kind of little 2 hour pullback in the market, we can really continue and see that go down to 1212. And then we'll start to talk about some kind of divergence if it forms, especially if it's at the same time as the SPY. That's going to be massive. All right, let's go into a 30-minute because that's what we're really paying attention to this morning. And I'm going to leave it on the SPY real quick, and then I'll get to the chat in about 1 minute. Let me just check on my other stuff going on here. All right, so we'll hold on to the hedge. Where is it? It's IWM. Trying to see that move up. And we want to see this guy. Okay. IWM is actually showing the reversal signal, so this is the one I want to keep my eye on just to see how this, if IWM is going to lead the market in some way. All right, let's pop over to you guys. TLT about took out your stop. Yeah, I think it still has that opportunity to go down towards 90.80 now. But if this 30-minute curls up at any time, it would say, hey, TLT might be the good thing here, right? That's what it kind of is saying. Something you can look at is like a 10-year or something like that, right? Just look at the 2 hour, see how it's behaving. Well, it's starting to really scale up here. Starting to really scale up and go positive, so that is a big deal. We can see a reaction there. So you just want to pay attention. If this 2 hour turns down, it means, hey, still not the moment, right? We're still just building, building, building. It's getting very... Remember Tesla built. And the day that we were like, this thing is building a ton of liquidity in here and it's about to see a massive move. Well, then Donald Trump won and a bunch of money got pumped into it and they used all that liquidity. Boom, it went higher. But that can be distributed the other way. That's why you want to say if this 2 hour curls over, it wouldn't be the best sign. Yeah, so Emmanuel, that's why if you hear me say in my videos a lot of the time, I'm taking swing trades on bigger time frames, but I'm not necessarily going to just take a 30-minute turn down, especially in a squeeze, because you can really just move sideways. And you're seeing that right now, especially I think in the Qs. I think in the Qs, you're really seeing how this has, right? From that reaction, that last bigger reaction up, where are we? We're pretty much flat to it. And what are we doing? Overall moving sideways to get to that 5 for the retest. And then we can see if that has one more move. But I'm not playing this move. The move that I'm going to play, most likely, if I'm going to play an upside move, is if we actually get that 2 hour. If we get that 2 hour, if this goes up like this and that 2 hour backs off nicely, maybe even moves sideways and just curls up into positive territory, that would be more room for me to see a good position play, right? So a lot of the time I am waiting for the divergence because then I can get a hint of when the 2 hour is going to pull back. Now, am I going to play that divergence to the downside? Not necessarily, because this is a squeeze. Now, if we make a 2 hour divergence outside of a monthly, that is one I will play. I think that would be a corrective move. Somewhere between 7 to 12% is, I think, what's coming. And then I think we're going to end up actually going higher into January, at least January of 2025. So yes, you have it right. I'm not just going to take a 30-minute play to the downside because it's curled down, especially when you have short squeeze signals flashing, right? Volatility really saying short squeeze. We got above, on the SPY, we got above 584.50. So that tells me, right, we just gapped right above it. So we were initially talking about, hey, this is showing divergence and that can bounce up to our sell zone and then sell off again. The big thing why this is so bullish now is because you got rid of that. And we said multiple times, if we get above that point, then that's going to be a big deal. But notice you gapped above this zone. So you could go revisit that, right? Maybe that's where the not necessarily 2 hour pullback is, but maybe that's the move that we're looking for that downside move to see some kind of bigger pullback. Maybe we're going to correct further, but I do believe this market can head higher first. Will we get high enough, right? Will this move, will this 2-hour base out, will it really flag out? And then we see a massive move up, and then this is some kind of 4 to 5% drop, and that's all the correction you get. We'll pay attention to the signals, it'll help out. How many trades on average? It depends on what shows up. I try not to over trade. During a bear market, I can get like 2 to 3 a week. During a... And I can hold those positions if I want to, but sometimes I like, if I have one that's really working out, I'll just sell the other ones and take profit and then be done and use that one. But more of the time, you'll probably see, let me think, probably 3. If I'm not moving things around too much, I would say 3 in a regular market. In a bear market, it really scales up because you have more volatility, so you can take more plays. Right? Especially when you're seeing the 30 minutes. So originally in a bear market, when you see those drops, you'll get a 30-minute play into a 30-minute play into a 2-hour play. Once those 2-hour plays start to show up, that's when those take a little bit more time. So the timing goes down a little bit. Then you'll see another 2-hour play, that timing goes down a little bit. And then sometimes that leads into the golden setup. So you'll see a lot of those type of up and down moves originally, which gives you more trades, and then at the end of the day, at the end of those, you'll start to see 2 hours, dailies, and daily ones. I do want to hold on to those a little bit longer. So it just depends on which time frame, but you can suggest if I'm taking a 30-minute one, and let's say 3 of those show up in a week. Well, if I take all 3, then technically I'd have 3 in a week. But if I'm doing 2-hour plays, I might only see 3 of those in the entire month. But being patient is good. I'm mainly just trying to take good things. So if I took a short here, there would be no reason. There would be no reason behind it. And that's the big thing I keep touting, okay? Up 100% on Meta. Congratulations. Good job, Kied. Nice job. That 30-minute was able to curl up. Hey, that's a strong freaking move. That's a strong move. I do want to look at Meta just to see what could be happening here as far as where those weeklies are at. And you have a decent amount of room to that upside. You have a decent amount, so you might not even make it the divergence here. You might actually see that breakthrough. Ooh, you're coming into that resistance point at about 600. But you do have room to go a little bit higher is what your weekly ranges are telling you. But that's a great move, 100%. That's why I'm telling you about like AMC and GME. It's like AMC. Okay, I sold a little bit of this on the option play just so that I can pretty much play with house money. Now I have no risk behind the play. So Meta is another example of, hey, that's a great move, especially for Meta, right? 2.69% is great. But is that just going to make the divergence and turn down right now? Well, if I'm worried about that in any kind of way, I can just take a little bit of profit that way. If I do experience some kind of downturn, it's not going to hurt me. But this just overall looks very bullish to me, right? We'll see if that can even complete a divergence or is retesting these levels. But this would be a interesting thing to happen. And I think the way that you go, okay, this 2 hours is going to pull back is if you start seeing things on the Qs. If you start seeing a 30-minute divergence on the Qs. If you start seeing IWM make a triple divergence at its weekly. If you start seeing DIA do the same thing, right? If we start to see these type of moves, you can go, okay, we're most likely going to see that 2 hour pullback throughout the week. And then we can see if that can base out and turn back up, maybe going on into Friday or next week. We do get data. We get CPI tomorrow. Let's run through that real quick. CPI tomorrow. Okay. And then after that, we do get PPI on Thursday. Oil stuff. And Fed Jerome Powell will be talking at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. on Thursday. We have retail sales at an hour before the open on Friday, and then we go into next week. Okay, so that's really what you're looking forward to. After today, you start to get data. After today, you start to get some data out there. But yeah, Meta is running into that 600-ish level. 599.63 was the high there for Meta. TLT, we're still seeing if this can this thing curl up on a 30-minute chart. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Because TLT and the market kind of go in opposite ways, right? Really, the market is weird because it's like the dollar, the SPY, and the 10-year yield are all heading in the same direction. They're kind of positively correlated, which is very interesting because that's switched in recent times, right? That's switched over the last couple of months. It used to be a negative correlation. Now it's kind of positive. So that would tell me if TLT is going to go up, then maybe the market would pull back and come down. But just waiting for the signals here for TLT. Unless we flip it back into a negative correlation. I just want to see, what are my settings on this? Why does this always show differently? It bugs me. Okay, good. We're doing that on this one. AMC, solid move, going back up to those highs. Where is that? Look at that, going back up to those highs. GME is the one that had weakness. It's a little weaker, but it's uncrossing that MACD. That's very, very important. Very important for GME to unconfirm if that's going to keep seeing something crazy. I just believe if we're going to see that and GME and AMC is going to cause weakness in the market, if it's really going to see the moment it can, I really think we would see reversal signals. I think they would want to trap more people. PCC today coming out at 0.679. You've had a couple days now of calls. Yesterday just moved sideways. Today, we're seeing those calls come in. The dollar is higher while PCC is lower, which would mean there is a chance for a rug pull. Just a slight one, I would say. I wouldn't say a rug pull that's going to cause anything too damaging, unless a black swan happens. But what we would say here is, well, the market's been correlated with the dollar, right? The SPY's been correlated with the dollar. So it's a little weird this time, in my opinion. Let's go check on Tesla. Still moving sideways. I think you got a good shot to go make a more significant divergence. Check on NVIDIA. See, that one pulled back more, which is great. We'll see if that reaction can lead to more positivity. Got 6 minutes left for that to confirm. All right, what are you guys chatting about? PCC is extremely low. Up 100%. I just took profit at 600. That's a nice key, and I think taking some profit there was, I respect that decision. That's how I'd say it. I think Tesla goes higher. If it can keep consolidating and confirm momentum back up, then that would be suggested. That would be suggested. What you don't want to happen is you don't want the 2 hour to cross. That's it, because that would be a little bit bigger momentum kind of curling down. But you notice it has a little bit more room in there. You have a lot of time for that 30-minute to really curl up again. So we'll see. We have a touch of the weekly expected move, but we don't have reversal signals at the weekly expected move. We talked about this in the video last night. Tesla does have this flatness, okay? Make sure you're watching those videos every single night, and please leave a like on this video and any video that you do see. It really does help out the channel, and I would very much so appreciate it. We are growing the community because of you guys. It is all due to you guys, and I thank you for it. But something we notice is Tesla does not have reversal signals. So if this wanted to leak out for some time, maybe we get a reaction to data, that first reaction is wrong, then we can actually see the 2 hour pullback. And then I'm looking for that 2 hour pullback for an opportunity for a bullish trade. All right, the only thing I'll keep my eye on is NVIDIA on the daily scale while that 2 hour does pull back, because that could be a little worrisome. And maybe NVIDIA is the one that gives us a hint. Maybe Meta gives us the hint. Maybe something gives us a hint out there. That's all we're looking for. Seeing if 30 minutes can curl up, take out the high, go make a new one, look for a reaction, see if that creates anything for that 2 hour pullback to make more sense. Right now, it doesn't. It makes sense when you just look at the chart and look how high up the MACD, look how high up the RSI are, but it doesn't make sense as far as, hey, am I seeing a trade setup? Am I seeing weakness in momentum? You want to look at Doge? Oh, I'll look at Doge, because Doge I turned $100 into $6 grand on that bad boy. Of course I'll go look at Doge, man. So is this Coinbase? So it's at 37 cents. Oh, that's awesome. That's great. Love that. So for these, I do like the bigger time frames. That's a great move. If you didn't know, I bought Doge at 0.0008 for $100, and I turned $100 into $6 grand. Because I just YOLO'd $100. I was like, it's $100. Me and my brother did it. It was a lot of fun. His got up to he bought 200, and his was worth 55K at one point, which is just crazy to me. Mine would be worth a lot right now if I kept it, by the way. Mine would be worth a shitload if I kept it. That was years ago. That was when Elon Musk first tweeted about Doge. I bought it a month before that. I said, hey, these signals look all right, let's do it. And then Elon tweeted, and then we made like tons of money. I think it took like a month or two. Now, as far as right now, not necessarily seeing anything on the 30-minute. One thing to look at here is it is overall something that you'll want to pay attention to is Bitcoin and things like that. You do have flatness on the 2-hour. So this run is great, but it will most likely move sideways or see some more volatility because it's freaking Dogecoin. So that thing can curl down, retest that 5. It can go all the way down to 0.28, so 28 cents, 30 cents, something like that. What I would do if I was still trading this, what I did back in the day to trade Doge, was all I did was look at the charts and I noticed, hey, you know, Doge doesn't move as well as Bitcoin, but it does relatively follow what Bitcoin does. And you'll notice that in the near price action. What are you noticing about Bitcoin though? The 2-hour was able to cross. So that's going to be a big deal. You can always see a 30-minute move up, but if this 2-hour doesn't cross back up, that's not going to be good. Maybe you do this, you make some kind of little divergence that's just on the RSI, not the MACD at the same time. That leads into a 2-hour pullback. That would happen for Doge as well. I know we're looking at Bitcoin, but that's what I think might happen for Doge is it experiences a 2-hour pullback just like everything else. I think that's definitely possible. Ethereum, you can see this one as well. This one might have made a divergence. Ethereum making divergences, that's not a good sign. If it's not on the 4-hour, I'm not too worried. It is on the RSI, and it is on the MACD. So Ethereum is showing more weakness than Doge, than Bitcoin, just so you are aware. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna go look. I can't remember when I bought this. I really can't. Oh, god dang it. I like the actual number here. Let's just use Coinbase. What year was it? When did I do this? Maybe it was this run. Because I think I bought it around my birthday. Maybe it was 2022. Maybe it was only 0.08. I can't remember fully. I'll have to go look. I'll ask my brother. Maybe he would know. He might have it. I could probably go look. I think I put it on my taxes. AMC, great stuff here. Still curled up on the daily, which means you always have a shot. All right, we're just seeing if that 30 minutes going to rotate down. That's going to be the big deal. GME is already trying to do it. So that would just lead me to believe we're going to get a 30-minute pullback, maybe to the 5-day moving average. Gold, we'll see if this thing is not really trying to bounce too much yet, right? Not really trying. I don't think this is like, this would be a bad level to lose. And the futures are showing better signals, but SMCI, very controlled again. But curled up. Interesting that it's curled up. It's like it's trying to form a very wonky higher low. I don't want to curl back down on a 2-hour. I kind of assume that's curled up. Yeah, rejection divergence. See if that can see a bounce. But if that 2-hour rolls down, maybe even an hourly. Hourly might roll down. That wouldn't be the best sign. Oh, it curled back up. Okay, we'll see what happens. That one's a wonky one, though. So the main thing we pay attention to are the SPY and the Qs. We see if those 30 minutes can roll up. If they don't roll up, we might confirm a 2-hour down. That does not mean, this could be an A, B, C. That 2-hour curls down, we curl up one more time, right? We get that fake out. So just be aware of 30-minute curl ups. You are still in positive territory. And oh my goodness, I have to pee. I will go use the restroom real quick, and then I'll be right back. I've been looking at them on my other charts as well, so I'm keeping aware of things going on. But I'll be right back. The girls are up there watching their Spanish cartoons. Oh no, it's that dude Chris. Freaking dude Chris. Which we do know he's a dude. We got it, guys. His that dude Chris. GME curling up on your chart. We're just looking for if that 30-minute can curl down for GME, but it's holding it. Like, that's important. So it held this one. Now you got to hold the next one. And that would have to be a negative bar from the previous, in my opinion. So AMC still holding it, okay? So let's still have a shot. Let's still have a shot. Come on, Tesla, let's go. Still very controlled. Very controlled. I think what you're doing here is remaining controlled, and then you got to see what happens with this 5-day moving average. It's very good, right? You notice this. We hold above the 5, we consolidate, we don't cross down, big gap up, and we run. Awesome. So wouldn't you say a retest of the 5 might be a good thing? And then see if that can curl up into positive territory. I would like it to buy a little bit more room. Getting a little bit more room and then curling up would be a nice thing. Really, really make it so you can set up a good divergence outside of that weekly expected move. That would be an actual reversal signal. You don't have very many of them. What were the ones that had them? It was IWM and DIA. So these ones do. So if IWM and DIA are telling you something, which is the Dow Jones, right? Are they telling you something? They would be saying, hey, we're going to get that pullback now. Is that going to be a different timing than the SPY and the Qs? It can be. It can be. Don't want to sell that one yet. Yo. Like, AMC is so funny because if you do the 2 position thing that I like to do, and you sell one, you can like just double that position, and then if things curl down, you manage risk, and then you have the same amount of money to plug in. All right, so I caught the down on DJ30. Let's see DJT. DJT, I was really interested if this was going to see a pop because of the 2-hour divergence. We did mention the 2-hour divergence. Now, you're coming down for another push lower. If that 30-minute does go down to these levels and curl up, you would have that divergence on the 30-minute, and then you might even have that pop up on a 2-hour. Yeah, I have one that moves on these, on this chart, these charts. I have one that moves on the, with the price action throughout the day. On my other ones, I'm kind of playing both because I haven't used this 5-day during the day too often, right, on the shorter time frames. So I want to see how both do and see which one I like better. But as far as where this is right now, according to this one, 319.53. And if you want the other level for where that is on the other charts using the other program, your 5-day moving average is down by your weekly expected move, the downside one. So that's why I'm doing it in real time, because that would be a 15% drop before you retest it. So you're pretty much down here, right? So if you don't include the price action from like the last 2 days, where's the price action from today's start? Let's see, it was there, right? So here. Oh, I'm on a 2-hour. I was like, I thought this was a 30-minute. So you would say something around like 298, 290 in that area would be where that's lying. And the way that you can see those 2 levels, if you want to like mark this one off for the near term, but that one's going to move throughout the day. You can also just double click and usually just do this. Wait for time frame closes, and then it'll even out. You see it's over by 300 now. Okay. Let's see, because this one's always a little bit different. Okay, that's what I want to do. I need to change that. There we go. That should update. Okay, there you go. Okay, I have it updated. So right around... What is that? 320, 320. Okay, so they're kind of lining up. Mellows it out. All right, and there you go. So it looks like as of right now, we're seeing Tesla trying to do some stuff, trying to really pull back with time, see if that 30-minute can curl up into positive territory. IWM, this is where IWM, you always got to keep aware. This has confirmed. It can just move sideways, but if this 2 hours is going to start to cross, that's not going to be a good thing. That would mean a pullback is likely. Now, everyone else might be saying, oh, this move is terrible. Right? If we did something crazy like that, imagine we did this all of a sudden with maybe some data tomorrow. What would you be saying? Because you're a subscriber of this channel. Well, you'd be saying, oh, we're at a weekly expected move. Do I see structure? Right? Oh, we don't have a reversal signal to really send us down. Are we curling over a daily? No. Okay, then we can really bounce from 232.74. Same thing with DIA, right? The Dow Jones. You got to know there's 30-minute divergence here. So if that 2 hours is going to cross, that's what's being suggested right now. Doesn't mean we're really, really bearish and this is going to fall through the floor. No, this is a short squeeze. We see bigger moves. We could see this move sideways, but we can pay attention to the fact that, ooh, 433.50. Do we make a cup and handle, or do we just see this curl back up into positive territory? And I think that is the more likely scenario at this point because we do not have reversal signals. Cool, cool. Now, the big question is, are IWM and DIA signaling that the SPY's not going to go to that daily expected move and make a 30-minute divergence, right? Because that's overall what we were looking for to tell us a pullback is coming. Sorry, baby girl's crying. But are we actually going to see that form before and see a difference between DIA and IWM? That's kind of what we're playing with. NVIDIA's got to hold the move in order for this to be a good one. It's holding pretty well, right? Completed. So that would suggest the probable thing to do here is test the high, go make a new one. But as you're close to that center line, you always want to have your lights wide or your eyes wide open, staring at this thing, seeing if it's going to lose that 5 again, seeing if that's going to cross back down, because that would suggest negativity. But NVIDIA is a big stock, and that is suggesting that the Qs are going to go up to a daily expected move or see some kind of curl up on the 30-minute over the next day or so. Until that flips back down, I can't say anything different. Apple struggling, okay, struggling, but we'll see. Remember the 5-minute or the 1 minute, right? We're just seeing if this is going to hold up in these levels, seeing if this is, look what happens here too, by the way. We react, right? The 5's right here. We come back down, we react to the 5. What do? We back off. We try to make some form of cup and handle, and here is what's going on. We'll see if that can build up and then break through. That's going to be a key thing. That would mean this 30-minute turning up would actually be a good thing for the stock. Reaction to the weekly expected move, we love to see it. AMD, one that I'm pretty critical of all the time because I just do not like the stock. I don't think it behaves well, but this still could be cup and handle, but watch out if that 2 hours crossing back down. If that 2 hours crossing down, it's suggesting, ooh, I need to make some kind of divergence before I can see a bounce. And does it have to make that? No, it doesn't have to make that. 2 hour turning down means bad. If the reversal signal pops up and confirms, you go, oh, awesome, a trade setup. Oh, sweet. And I do have Tesla up on my other charts. Just paying attention to that for a moment. All right, AMC, still doing it. GME a little weaker, starting to see a little almost rejection off of the monthly expected move on this previous bar here. How much was this? I think if I want to add to a play at all. I don't think so. I don't think I do. I don't know. I thought it was muted. Is that why they watch Mexican cartoons? Yeah. So, well, we watched those cartoons for 2 reasons. The cartoons that we were using started to have some weird topics and some weird people, like just not people that look like just people, like a kindergarten teacher, right? They looked a little weird, and we don't want our daughter to experience anything like that at a young age. I feel like that's just weird. It's just creepy stuff, you know, like even a gentleman wearing tight pants or like a Speedo or something. If he's singing about swimming to my child, I don't like that. So we noticed that the Spanish ones are more so just little cartoons, and like the people that come in, they just sing a song real quick and it's just like a husband and wife, I think, that make the videos. So we just like those. Plus, we want her to be bilingual. NVIDIA making a new high today. I noticed when NVIDIA is up, Tesla is down, vice versa. Well, so one thing about Tesla is it was known to have a short seller problem, and a lot of people still believe, and I believe it, that NVIDIA is the one that fuels it. And I actually believe that Bitcoin, to some point, to some extent, they use liquidity in Bitcoin. They use Bitcoin to make money to suppress the stock, and that's just something that I think happens. I don't necessarily have, I would say, like I don't have a proof of it, I guess. The only proof you would have is, actually, I don't think you really have proof of that. You just have to see, but you'll see these runs at those weird times. And so now you're seeing, well, Bitcoin might fall off and maybe AMC and GME fall off. If that would happen at the same time, well, then that was a big pump up. They sell a bunch, they suppress the stock. But I mean, you don't have to get into it too far, right? On this channel, we're just following good technicals, and the technicals would say if AMC can remain curled up on the 30-minute, you still have a shot. If GME remains curled up on a 30-minute, you have a shot. What is happening with GME right now? It is curling down on a 30-minute. You have 15 minutes left in the bar. Does that mean it can't happen 30 minutes later? No, it just means it has to flip it back to the upside. That's why I take a couple different positions so I can feel comfortable selling one, making money on the play, and then keeping the other one in case it happens, and now my risk is pretty much zero. Very cool. All right. Now, someone did say... Oh yeah, they're starting, and yeah, I get those borrow things all the time. You're seeing huge borrowing, by the way, massive borrowing. I think it was here. Let me double check this, and then we'll talk a little about Tesla. Let me double check this real quick. Okay, can we? Yeah, here you go. All right, I'll show you guys this real quick. Remember, when those big moments do happen, the short selling goes up. When those big moments happen, the short selling starts to really clamp down on the stock. So you're seeing these stocks go up, and everyone's encouraging to allow you to borrow. And what are you noticing? The short sale volume is going up. I'm sure it's the same for GME. Yeah, GME short selling is going up. So that's just what I want to pay attention to. The fact that these things happen in tandem means that this move is something they are very worried about. That's all I have to really read into there. I just play good signals and I'll be fine. AMC's been sitting at 2% for a very, very long time here. It's just been sitting at 458 for about, I think, about 6 minutes. Let me look at this. Okay, now it's moving. It just stalled there for a minute or two. All right, we'll see though. 30-minute curls down. Not a good thing for AMC. All right, let's look at some other stuff though. We are paying attention over here to Tesla. I think Tesla is a good one to pay attention to. This one will be, is the 2-hour going to give you that confirmation, or before this crosses, is it going to reject and turn back up? And something that we can watch is the 30-minute. We'll just chill. We're chilling, waiting to see if these things can go higher. NVIDIA already suggesting, hey, I want to go higher. I want to make a new high. That was the most likely thing to happen once you curl this up. And you had 2 swing trade signals before it happened. That's awesome. Test the high, go make a new one. Let me go pull up NVIDIA on my other charts just to see how much room that has. I believe it has a good amount of room, which makes sense, right? We've really come down on this 30-minute. We've really come down on this 30-minute. So not only, and why I do not, here, this is something good. I think a 2-hour pullback is coming, but we are in a short squeeze. So why I will not be playing the downside if I see a 30-minute divergence is because you look how extended this move is. If you really look back, it's a pretty high up move. And so what we want to see is if that curls up like this, if we see a good move here, right? We see this, and then it curls down again. What if that curls up one more time? So what if we see a triple divergence? That's why I don't necessarily want to play anything to the downside. I just want to be aware of the signals to know, hey, now I need to pay attention for the 2-hour pullback and look at those signals to see, okay, are they trapping people with the divergence? Do I have an opportunity there? If not, I can just take the swing trade to the upside, right? I don't want to take downward plays during a short squeeze at all. I want to take the more prominent play at the end of the short squeeze. That happens a lot at the end of short squeezes, which is 2-hour divergence, 2-hour triple divergence. Those are what I'm looking for. And I want to see the same signal on the Qs. I want to see the same signal on the SPY. I want to see it on NVIDIA. I want to see it on volatility in the opposite direction, all at the same time. But man, we got some calls in today, so I don't know. The market maker wants to hurt people. They might have to shoot this thing down for a bit. Very, very good. TLT, seeing if that can cross down on a 2-hour, maybe an hourly's your friend here. Still think you have that opportunity to react down towards like 91 or 90, 76, 90, 80, somewhere in here. Just kind of in these lows. Maybe you just curl down, you don't curl down that 2-hour and you just reject and start to curl up that 30-minute. That would be pretty solid. SPY 2-hour, trying to curl it. Qs 2-hour, not as much. Interesting. Tesla now down 4%. Solid little pullback there. All right, Qs are trying to curl it down, just not the best bar. Still got an hour and 10 minutes left, so we might see a reaction in the next hour, which is good. That's our timing for the stream, so that's good. NVIDIA has to remain positive to do this. You need AMD to start to participate and get that handle solidified after hitting the 5. You're going to probably even need Apple to start to see some upside here. AMC now up 2.67. Very, very good. 11 minutes left in the 30-minute bar here. Netflix did not look well. This is one that's already saying, like, hey, I need that 30-minute pullback, right? If this would cross down again, you're going, okay, I need that 2-hour pullback probably. We'll see, though. I mean, it's been doing crazy stuff. That's why I'm just going to be hesitant. Okay, volatility. Trying to turn back up, trying to hold this level, 1504. Where is it? GME in 9 minutes will be confirming if it remains how it is now, turning down on a 30-minute with a negative bar. See if they really clamp down on this. Ooh, PCC going to 0.73. Look at the dollar too, because this is moving with the market. Dollar, no real divergence, just on the MACD, not the RSI. So dollar could back off, the market could back off, yields could back off, and then we see a different reaction afterwards. You don't have them at the same time. All right, 30 minutes. We'll just sit on this. Sorry, I know I'm clicking around a bunch. That's why I try to click around on my other charts so it doesn't annoy you guys. Leave it on the Qs because that one looks like it's trying to do something. It's a little bit better in my opinion for the Qs. Do I think AMC will hit 18? I think my level to really watch was actually 18 to 22. I think it was 16 to 22. So 18's in there. 16 to 22 is where I think AMC is actually well priced. But it getting to 16 or 22 could cause margin calls. So we just want to make sure that 30-minute is still curled up. If that 30 minutes curled up, the daily's curled up, the 2 hours curled up, all at the same time, anytime that 30-minute curls up, you can see something crazy. You've already kind of seen something crazy. UVXY, yeah, so UVXY as well, just paying attention to volatility, right? So if volatility can turn up here, it's bottling up. It's really bottling up. It's right at that center line, which means it can go either direction. Right, when it's at that center line, what do you think? 50-50 shot either way. What's it right now? Well, it's curled down. But if that curls back up, takes back the 5, you can see a reaction from volatility. The 2 hours been curled up, but you're not seeing that reaction. So I think that we do see a little reaction to get this 2 hour, maybe even go positive for a moment, and then we see that subside. Maybe that's due to CPI tomorrow, who knows? But yeah, UVXY, I just follow volatility, right? 2 hours curling up, very, very negative. I mean, I can look at it, but I'm still going to do my analysis on volatility. But you can see how like this is even showing the divergence, but this is a 3 times leverage. That's why I want to see the signals on the spot on the VIX very clearly. I want to see signals on the SPY as well very clearly. That helps you out. Palantir was one. This still actually did have the 30-minute divergence. And then IWM, we'll have to see if that 2 hour is crossing. Okay, I'm gonna try to not click around, guys. I'm gonna try to click around on my other chart. Max Effort, oh my God, I saw your comment yesterday, or a couple days ago maybe. And Max Effort was like, man, you gotta stop it with these bearish thumbnails. And I feel bad about that, but it's just like, I'm a marketing guy, and that's YouTube's fault. That's not my fault. Okay, YouTube is more prominently going to send out your video if it has a thumbnail that's catching the attention of non-subscribers. And that's just how it works. And so even though yesterday's thumbnail might have been like, oh, this guy's bearish, we actually were pretty bullish overall. But I did see that. Is it bad seasonal timing? It just depends. I mean, according to this, you're still squeezing semi. Why am I doing that? You can look at SMH and things like that. But the 30-minute here, a little bit more weak, right? So is that 2 hour crossing down? It is. So you're in a 2 hour pullback, but look at this. I mean, you can't really say a perfect cup and handle because you violated it, but you're getting up to where you need to break through, bottling up. What if we get that move right now? What if we need to, see that 30-minute pop up a little bit and then curl down and then do this? So that's what we're really paying attention to, is the fact that the 2 hour has curled down. So we shouldn't necessarily think positivity is coming, at least until this 30-minute can give us a stronger move than this, because this could just continue to move sideways and then fall one more time, and then that 2 hour curls up. So no reversal signals for SMH, but not really worried too much about seasonality right now, because seasonality has been so messed up for the past few months that it's more likely to just be like, hey, let me follow signals very, very closely. Let me look at the 2 hour signal. Does that have a 30-minute behind it, right? NVIDIA, is that curling up into positive territory? Yes. Okay, cool. So we're most likely going to make a new high. Notice we're testing the high now. If we can make it through there, you're gonna get a new high. You might end up at a weekly expected move. And because of the elongated pull down, you might actually see a triple divergence on this one. Same with the SPY and the Qs, right? You might see, since this is very elongated, you might see that curl up, curl down, curl up again, and give you that triple divergence. And that would maybe get you to that weekly expected move. But I think we do something like this, and this is just a thought though, and then we see that 2 hour pullback that then gets us to a weekly expected move maybe next week. Good questions. Yeah. I think people read the thumbnails and stuff and they think, oh, this, or they look at the thumbnail and they're like, oh, this guy's so bearish. And I'm like, well, unfortunately, that's because of YouTube. That's just how you have to market things, unfortunately. Whenever I have put a bullish thumbnail, my video does horribly, and that's very terrible. I do not like that at all. Neo, yeah, we can take a look at it real quick. I know max effort, but that's why you guys are here. You guys clicked on them, you know. Watch a lot of the video to see what we're actually talking about. Right now we're talking about maybe a 30-minute pullback, maybe a 2-hour pullback, but we don't have those reversal signals yet. We only have them on IWM and DIA, and then we're looking for that next upside move, right? So I feel bad about that. I did want to mention you today, so I'm glad you commented, but I do feel bad about that, but it's just how YouTube works. And just know it's like, if I want my channel to grow, I kind of have to make the thumbnail create some kind of emotion, which is sad. But that's why when we call bottoms, it doesn't get as many views and people still think we're bearish, which is very interesting to me. As far as NEO goes, I don't like this move. I do not like it. You had 2 hours trying to give that divergence and then you're falling down. Now it's right before earnings, but you do have head and shoulders on the big thing here. You just see there's some liquidity here. You go to here, you react to that level. And then you get almost like a little mini head and shoulders in here as well. I'd like to think so, but I'm an idiot at the end of the day, let's be real. I'm just a dude who stares at lines on a chart and read psychology books. That's all I do. Play video games, read psychology books, hang out with my family, and trade charts. So there's plenty of people smarter than me. I bet 95% of you guys are smarter than me. Oh, okay, so one thing is pay attention to the retest too. This is a very important level you just broke through. My ADHD. The 30 minutes, so pay attention. This is very oversold. What you would really like to see is a retest of this. If this is going to be a fake out before earnings or something, just pay attention. But the look of this does not look well. The daily is still curling down. You're not necessarily holding the reversal signals. Yeah, you're not holding the recent one, and that's a problem. So I don't like the look of the stock. It is not obvious what is going on here, just a head and shoulders that might be playing out, and that can distribute a lot to the downside. So the 2 hours pointed down in negative territory. So I wouldn't be one to risk anything on this, especially before an earnings. Maybe after earnings, we can talk about it differently. Bring it up after earnings, and we can probably talk about it a lot differently, Bexon. 2 hour not curled over. 2 hour curled over. It's got to be curled. Oh, it's not curled over yet. Okay, so we still could make that another move. Interesting. That's curling down. What are the Qs doing as that's down? Trying to go up. Okay. Still curling down, but on a positive bar. 59 minutes left. We'll see if something happens in the next 59 minutes. Sorry about that, Bexon. I mean, I want to be very honest with you. If I don't see signals clearly on something, I don't want to speak about something that doesn't have clear signals and just give you some kind of BS. You know, I want to be honest with you. And and this is something too, if something confuses me, I just don't take the play, right? I want something very obvious. Which the Qs, the SPY, they don't have something obvious. The Dow, the Russell, they have something a little bit more obvious. Awesome. Thanks for understanding, Bexon. Ask about earnings, and then we'll see a big move, and then we'll wait for a pullback, and we'll see the next one. Right? That's the best way I can do it with earnings. Really mitigating that risk. All right, NVIDIA still breaking to the upside. What does just see? You know, bigger time frame. Is that able to curl up? This could be short-lived, though. I'm very worried about this. Like, notice I'm not taking this upside play. And I understand if you're someone who does shorter time frames and you take an upside play, hey, that's awesome. Congratulations. I hope that you are able to make money. I wish well. For anyone who disagrees with me, I wish you well. I still do. You're someone who's just like me. But I'm more waiting for the 2 hour, right? I'm waiting for this. And if we don't want to curl down that daily with this 2 hour pull down, eventually that you will get, now it might be up here when it happens, right? We might use this as liquidity later to curl up, but I'm still looking for more of a pullback here. I hope NVIDIA doesn't get too excited. There's Tesla moving. Okay, let's go check on Tesla. Tesla finally, right, not able to curl down the 2 hour. Perfect. Okay, now 30-minute. Can this curl up into positive territory? I still would like this to move sideways longer. I hate to say it, but I would like that retest of the 5. That would give me confidence, right? Patience can give me more confidence. This just keeps going like that. We see it go like this. We go, okay. That 5 catches up. Boom, we break through. Awesome. I just want to be patient. I'm not seeing reversal signals for Tesla. DJT, I actually don't mind this look. This is what I'm looking at right now. If that 30-minute can curl up, I like it again, high or low. If the 2 hour curls down, I'm more worried about it, but we might make a divergence. We might go retest down towards this level. The only bad part about breaking through here and maybe going down to test that, you kind of want that to be a wick, okay? Because when we saw that strong move, we see a strong move, we came down to this point right in here. You'll notice that's right below here. So I think you want to wick up if you're gonna do that, but you can see this do this really quickly and get another point of divergence. You already have one. So that tells me I can see managing the trade 30-minute. Right? 30 minutes says manage trade. You're still close enough to the center line that this can be negative. But if the 30-minute can do this, then I have a 2 hour triple divergence and a 30-minute triple divergence at the same time. I like that. So DJT might be one that I look at because that's actually showing a setup. S&P, no, Mark, I'm not. I'm not seeing the reversal signals. I'm seeing that this squeeze can continue. The only problem I think they're having is a lot of people buying calls. A lot of people buying calls. So I'm not seeing a reversal signal for the 2 hour pullback yet. I'm not seeing a reversal signal that says this has to crash down at all. And I'm just seeing a 30-minute that's pulling back with time, maybe waiting for that 5-day to catch up. Maybe people start to get a little bearish in there and then this thing shoots a little bit higher. And then once that does form the divergence, right, that's when I'll be paying attention. But if we keep pulling back, keep pulling back, keep pulling back, and then we cross up, you can head all the way up to 606.84 and it makes total sense. Total sense. Now you will have a 30-minute, right? When you see that initial move past the monthly, you still have to pay attention. That divergence can cause a 2 hour drop. So we'll see. But then that could get people really bearish, and then it curls right back up. So we'll pay attention in here for any reversal signals if all of this comes to fruition. But yeah, Mark, look at IWM, look at DJ, or look at DJI, look at the Dow, look at DIA. This is what we're talking about. Something like this happening in the SPY and the Qs. Something like this. Get towards that weekly. And now that these can gravitate towards there, but this is what we're looking for that 2 hour to pull back. I think IWM and DIA are very likely to pull back sooner than the SPY or the Qs. That's my, that's what all of this is telling me right now. NVIDIA to 160, it can happen. Yes, it can happen. Because you have a pretty sizable move here for NVIDIA. If you got to 160, it would be outside of a lot of expected moves at that point. Go over to Patreon so you can get the monthly expected moves up, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Ooh, NVIDIA. NVIDIA. What are you doing, big dog? All right, right now we did have GameStop confirm the 30-minute down. We are seeing NVIDIA do something key here, which is start to pull down. So what you don't want to happen here, you do not want the 30-minute to cross. If it does, you want that to whip back around. You want that to be something quick. But you could be doing some consolidation before you actually head higher. This could be a 5-minute thing, right? You're getting up to the key level. What do you want to do before you break through key levels like this one right here? We tagged it. We start to come down. Awesome. The 5-minute can pull back, and then curl up, that means that that positivity is going to continue, right? Not taking upside plays based on a 5-minute, just paying attention to the structure on a shorter time frame. The 30-minute is curled up, which really does suggest this is going to go to make a new high. If that changes, then the 30-minute will roll back down. Meta, did that hold? Meta not holding it, so be very, very cautious with Meta here. Meta's one stock that is saying I have divergence now. Okay, that is enough of a rejection for us to start talking about it. Watch if that does curl down. That can mean the 2-hour pullback for Meta is coming. Doesn't have to be that dramatic though, right? It can just do this. It can be more controlled, like this one here. It can be more controlled just on a 2-hour chart. Amazon not able to confirm it up, actually confirming it right back down, right? So tiny, tiny green blip. Bad. Okay, now we're turning back down a little bit. So we got to see if that fully has crossed. Hasn't crossed just yet. Very neutral bars, the most neutral bars I've ever seen. Now starting to cross, so be cautious. There are a lot of calls in there. If they want to do the 2-hour pullback now, they can. IWM and DIA is suggesting that that is going to happen. We do have some signals that are saying, okay, we can pull back. Damn, I'm gonna put DJT on my watch list actually, because I gotta keep track of that one. Most likely to fall. 30-minute has gone negative for DJT. Seeing if a divergence pops up for us. Something with IWM. God, that 2-hour really needs to fall down. I would love this. This would be a great reaction down, a great retest of where you gapped up to. And you kind of gapped up to this level. Then you retested that area, and then you ended up going higher. So this is great that the weekly expected move is lining up there. You'll love it, love it, love it, guys. Something to love about these weekly expected moves is when they make a great level for you to look for. And then you can see little 30 minutes and see if that can get down to there and say that's as low as it's supposed to go. This is when everyone starts to get bearish. This is when you start to look for reversal signals because you know there's no 2-hour divergence and that 2-hour is up very, very high. And you're squeezing. VIX able to flip negative. Apple going positive. Nice. Okay, so 2-hour curls up. That can be an even bigger move. But 30-minute curling up, that's what we're really paying attention to. I really think that's going to be consolidation to head higher. I think we're going to go make those divergences for the SPY and the Qs. So close to the center line. Let's go look over at GME still coming down. PLT still relatively controlled actually. Damn, GME is being fought right now. They're having trouble with AMC. Bitcoin did confirm the 2-hour on the last bar. We'll see if that can continue a little bit. Some levels for Bitcoin would be 82.3K. And below that would be 77K. If it's going to be more extended. It's just a 2-hour pullback. I expect 82.3K to be a good level. But I'll see if there's a signal for us there. Palantir really looking like it wants to curl down on a 2-hour. No 2-hour divergence for Palantir. I want you to look at this. And just go, okay, if that 30-minute curls up, good. It's very controlled and it's about to tag that 5-day moving average. But if you do this, Palantir was another one we have been putting out. If you want to join the Patreon, we do give update videos throughout the day. We're going to do one of those per week or You know, maybe multiple this week because we had to talk about the monthlies, but we kind of mixed them together this week. One thing about Palantir, you're outside of a monthly. You're way outside of it, so I highly suggest you get the Patreon so you can see those levels. You used it as support to actually head higher. Now, if you do tag this 5-day and you curl up for Palantir, this will have some good reversal signals there, suggesting the 2-hour pullback can come. Still just talking about a 2-hour pullback, though. All right, let's go to the Qs, see if those can curl up on the 30-minute. We're really trying to. We're holding well as that 5-day catches up. And I wanted to see this guy. Okay, IWM is really giving up that move on the 2-hour. Oof, IWM's really giving it up. Going down to the low of the day. SPY might be more rounded. Okay, let's see what you guys are chatting about. Yeah, Lurk and Luke, and we can look at DJT a few times and just say, hey, maybe we pay attention for a good signal. When this looks better is if the 30-minute just goes like that, right? Then higher low, awesome, you're pretty much positive. So this move can take you really positive. If this curls down like this and then curls up, now you have divergence. And you would have it on the 2-hour. So if the 2-hour is going to pull back in some way here, I actually wouldn't be minded too much. Are you saying PLTR? Yeah, I'm saying it has a chance to make a reversal signal. It's very controlled. So when something's very controlled, Shannon, you have to pay attention. So for this, you would like to see this going down, 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 down. This, if I can draw this up and it still makes sense to look like a flag, that's pretty much what we'll go with, right? If this can go like this, it's relatively controlled. You want to see that going like this, more just holding that downward move. You notice we're kind of tapering that move a little bit. So that's why I'm just talking about, hey, this is controlled. A very good example of something controlled was, I think it was Meta. It was in the other direction, but I think it was Meta. Yeah, Meta. So you're seeing how this is more, or I'm sorry, the opposite. What you actually want to see. This is what you want to see when something's falling down further. See how this is straight down? See how that's pretty much in a downward angle? You flag out, downward angle, you flag out. Did you break that downward angle? No. And then you head to the upside. That would be fantastic, Lurk and Luke. I would like that. That's why I'm putting it on my watch list. I'm going to watch that. If it goes down another 8%, it would be there. Can't find any bottom for days. Yeah, Celsius. Celsius. Ooh, it can't, man. It was trying to. It really tried to. Then you move sideways and you flush down. Look at the behavior. This is when you're like, okay, this is selling off. Down, flag, down, right? Not controlled. Not controlled in any way. Yeah, not a good look. Maybe a 2-hour divergence is forming, but no, it's not. This just does not look good after the earnings and bad earnings, and that makes sense why the downward trend is coming down. Obviously, it could have headed up, 50-50 flip on earnings. So something like TLT is more controlled, and you'll notice it right when I draw it out. You're going to say, okay, this is more controlled. We're going through moments where that flashes down, but the overall thing here is pretty damn controlled, right? This did not flush down, go sideways, flush down, go sideways, flush down. No, this stayed up pretty well. So we'll see if that can curl up into positive territory. We do get data tomorrow. PCC 0.72. So they could just move this thing sideways, really mess with you. Great morning, can't get right. How you doing? NVIDIA liquidity grab could be. You're right to think about that. If this is a liquidity grab to go lower, then you're going to see the 30-minute cross. I think it's more likely that we're going to see some little bit of a push higher here. A little push higher here. And then we start to turn down. I think that's more likely. I think this might be 5-minute consolidation to actually head a little bit higher. But damn, a lot of planes. SPY pullback, it's just not obvious just yet because it's controlled, right? If we really look and we go like this, we go, okay, is this going, can I obviously draw with the price action this or even down more, right? Not really. Now you could say this is the beginning of it. And if we produce a bigger drop here, then I'd be more convinced that this is going to be the 2-hour pullback. But because we have these wicks in here and it really is lining up, it's kind of more looking like a flag here to me. And squeezes, a lot of the time, you'll have to see divergences before they fall. Now, if this is going to be the pullback right now, 2 hours is going to cross. So you have 41 minutes if that crosses, or is that just going to tag this 5-day and then turn right back up? TOT is the US dollar will not stop going up. Yes, and that's why also we were just talking about expat. I think that's great. That's awesome to bring up. And I think one thing is the dollar, the SPY, and yields all have positive correlations right now. So when TLT sees a reaction, what would that mean? If that's going to see a reaction, that would mean that yields are actually going to come down. So if they hold that positive correlation, we might see the dollar come down, the SPY come down, and the yields come down all at the same time. But we do get data tomorrow. That's one of the rocks in our stream. We trade like water. We try to move around those rocks, see which direction that the price action is going, and end up in the meadow, right? So we have to understand there's an event coming out tomorrow. CPI might be a big deal for those yields, right? Will it crash the market? No, I've said this multiple times in the past. CPI will not crash the market. Unemployment, bank failures, geopolitical stuff, those are more likely to crash the market. If AMC and GME causes bank failures, that can crash the market. That's why you got to pay attention to AMC and GME right now, because those things can cause some turbulence. Do we have reversal signals in any way? Am I thinking this is going to crash down even in 2024 now? No. If it is going to, then I'm going to see this weekly turn down, and I'm never going to see this thing turn back up, right? I'm going to see this thing just start to go negative. Are we going to do that? I don't know. I actually think we have more likelihood to see a blip, kind of like here. I think we could see a blip and then turn back up. And then I'll be paying attention to sometime in 2025. But if it curls down, I'm going to treat it as it could crash, right? I'm going to treat it that way. But I'm going to look for reversal signals if this goes like that and then wants to bounce. I think you do have the opportunity in 2025 to see some kind of bull run. We'll pay attention in January. We'll pay attention in March. And if we can make it through that, then we'll probably be really paying attention to October of next year. Well, there is one reason the dollar going up at the same time makes sense. And that's the fact that people are taking into consideration around the world Donald Trump policies. And a lot of those policies are strengthening the production in America, America becoming a producer, America forcing companies to actually give jobs and manufacture here in the States, which can be a good thing for those stocks. Plus, he wants to cut taxes, all those things. So I think you saw, and I posted it to Patreon during the election that night, I said, right now, I am literally seeing Chinese markets and European markets go down, and they're pumping money into US stocks. And I think that's something. Okay, you answered right now, and you didn't see the question. Oh, my bad. You expect Santa Rally? I think Santa Rally is what we're kind of leaning towards, actually. I think Santa Rally could be, if we go through a quick correction, just a quick one, 7 to 12%, little 7 to 12% down, and we see that thing curl back up. Awesome. Well, you would say US investors, okay? Big investors, and I'm not really talking about, I'm saying big investors, and it's select stocks, but big investors are selling at unprecedented rates. CEOs of these companies are selling. Warren Buffett is holding a bunch of cash. right? But they're selling those stocks and going into cash. So we just noticed for the time being, there's a positive correlation between the dollar and the SPY. But I'm not going to read into it too much. All I want to do is see a reversal signal from the SPY and then see what happens, right? See a reversal signal from the Qs, see what happens. See if those reversal signals are on a 2 hour, then I can read into it more. And that's more what I want to do going forward because of that behavior. Because, you know, for the most part, it is people going into cash. And that's a scary thing. Because why is Warren Buffett holding $365 billion in cash or something like that? I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's that much, but maybe it's a million. But he's holding a lot of cash. I mean, Oxy, I think, is one that he has. This had good reversal signals. We'll see if those, right? Oxy, these have great reversal signals across the board. 30-minute divergence. I think we talked about this, before earnings? 30-minute divergence, 2 hour divergence, daily divergence, all at the same time. You get earnings in today, end of today. So one thing you're noticing is that 30 minutes curling down. This did have a 2 hour confirmation down here. Remember, this was the golden setup, and that proved to be good. Might be a get out of jail free card for now, but the 30-minute is rolling down. The daily is suggesting that this is still a good position. That's what the daily is saying. Anything can happen with earnings. This could be a slanted head and shoulders, right? So if I am going to trade Oxy past today, I have to make sure my position size is managed. I have to make sure my risk is very managed. Expat, I like the conversation. It's fun. And Bexon, sorry, I hope I was able to answer something. Let's see. Oh, the actual question was Santa Rally, right? Yeah. I think we still could get it. I just think we're going to see a move down that people say like, oh, the Santa Rally is not coming. And then it comes, right? But I think we have to build. We have to build the downside move first. We really got to see if this 2 hours. Now, even if that 2 hour crosses, you can still get that 30-minute move up. You just don't want to see that 2 hour crossing back down. So 2 hour here, Qs, 2 hours trying to cross there. Still haven't curled up on the 30-minute. You got 35 minutes left, man. 325 billion on Buffett. Okay, I was right. Billion. Jeez. Really crazy is how much of that is total percentage outstanding strange for Berkshire. It is. But people were noticing some funky stuff with the timing of Berkshire Hathaway's, what was it? Glitches. Just thought that was interesting. Bitcoin, just so you're aware, 2 hour has curled over. You're in a 2 hour pullback. You don't have great reversal signals. So it just tells me we could reach down for some buyers, see if a 2 hour pops up, then you're going to get a 4 hour. If the 4 hour crosses, it's going to be an extended pullback or more of a pullback with time, right? Just got to be very calm with it. It's a very good move. We had signals for the good move. We had signals here for the good move. So now you're seeing that big move try to top out. Does it have topping out signals? No. I don't want to get into too many different cryptos. Sorry about that, Jeremiah, but I just want to say you're paying attention to the same stuff as Bitcoin. You mainly want to pay attention to what Bitcoin's doing. It's the big dog. It's the big dog. Yeah, Fardis, I don't know if Bitcoin's done. I don't think a Bitcoin would be done. I think you need to see reversal signals to get a reverse. Right now, you're just heading to the upside. You're getting a 2 hour pullback. So I don't think it's done. I just don't think you have confirmation of the higher move yet. Oh, sorry, one of those came away. Does anyone know if Trump said he would repeal the CHIPS Act? There was mention of that, but I don't know for sure, so I won't comment. God, I got a dust. I just dusted like a week ago, I feel like, and it is everywhere. Making a turn to the upside to a lower point in your opinion? Well, we give you the stuff for DIA. So if you're still doing DJI futures, anything like that, what we'd really be looking for here is, this is suggesting the 2 hour is going to pull back. The thing is, I know it's a bunch of red. It's still more controlled than I want it to be. It's starting to get less controlled. So where this can really bounce from is that 5-day moving average. So you'd say like 440. which would be about 44,000, I think, for the DIA, right? 44,000. And then you see if you can go make that triple divergence. And the reason we have to be aware of a triple divergence, even if that 2 hour does cross, is the DIA and the IWM are both at or really close to weekly expected moves. So if they're able to come down, fill the gap, touch the 5 down by 440 or 44,000, and then you turn up into positive territory, and then you see this, right? We get down a little bit more, we curl up, we curl down. That is more so going to lead you to believe the 2 hour pullback's really coming. And that would make sense, because that would maybe allow the SPY and the Qs to head up to make their first little divergence. So I'm still reading into it. It's just we're so close to weekly moves that it makes sense to go tag them. But the problem is it makes sense to go tag this if the 30-minute curls up, but it also makes a lot of sense because of the divergence you're seeing now for the 2 hour to just start pulling back. And you're seeing more of that. So if this can cross, you'd be a little bit more convinced, be aware of how to manage risk, because rigged moves do happen. Bunch of calls still in the market. So where do I think DIA or the Dow gets to? Well, I would say 44.6K for the Dow. Right, we're running into that trend line. We can break that trend line if we do a little trap. 44.6 is what I'm paying attention to. 44.8, somewhere in there. Sorry, itchy nose. All right, are we going to? And that could be just a simple little A, B, C turn up after testing that 5-day moving average. Having fun today, though. It's a fun day. I like it. AMC still positive. GME turned down on a 30-minute. IWM really, if I pull up IWM on the 2 hour, you're not happy with this look, man. IWM, 30-minute cross down, divergence is there, 2 hour here, not crossed, but look at that bar. It is not the best bar. Could be an inverse hammer in some way, but I don't want to read into that too much on a 2 hour. Try to guess what's going to happen based on the structure of a bar. I just want to see if this crosses down, then that would suggest, hey, we might head down towards 232.74 by the end of the week. Which is this is the really strange thing. And who was bringing it up? Who was talking about the dollar? Expat was bringing up the dollar, and we started talking about yields and that. The interesting thing for me is that the yields really went higher here. Like November 5th, they went higher, and IWM still went higher. I think that's kind of crazy to me. But I think maybe that's people reading into Trump during his presidency was very much so he wants businesses to be able to thrive, which means he needs lower interest rates. The problem with the environment we're in now is if you have really low interest rates right now, you can cause some big inflation. It doesn't? I'll go check it on the other charts. If I see anything, I'll bring it over. How about that? Because I just haven't looked at it, so I don't want to distract too much. Ooh, okay. It actually is interesting. Ooh, yeah, it's really interesting for Solana. I would be cautious with this one. These are my other charts, but I would just be cautious with this one. You do have a 4 hour confirming this down. It's very flat on the RSI, kind of flat, but slightly down for the MACD. So this could be another 4 hour to push higher, but you do have 2 hour signals that have confirmed, 4 hour signals that have confirmed, suggesting this could go negative. So if you're going to turn up, you want this 2 hour to turn up right now, right? You want that 2 hour to start to turn up, because if that starts to go negative, maybe you react down a little lower before that can bounce. You do have the chance for this to keep falling with these signals. This is suggesting that Solana has a chance to curl down on the daily chart. Now, will that be a massive move to the downside or just a retest? Well, you would say more likely to be a retest, maybe a 187.23. These levels in here that we really struggled to break through. When we got above them, we saw that weakness and momentum that shot us down. So we're above them now. If you want to hold up, I'd hold up in this little box right here. Let's include that high. There you go. So that would be where I think this is getting to based on the signals. Just the 4 hour is very positive, making that divergence. So notice that that could get by the center line and just curl up, right? That could just do this and then curl up. So you got weakness here. So it tells you, hey, a little risky that there's going to be a downside move. But if this can really base out, turn back up, that's when the opportunity is there again. A swing trade, in my opinion. 4 hour swing. Ooh, now down 1.09. Was that good? I think that's something that was good to pay attention to, actually. I kind of like that. Because Bitcoin is showing like, hey, I'm about to get a pullback, and then you see other things in the same sectors, you know, kind of saying similar stuff. 30-minute plays, do you like 3 weeks out or 6 weeks out? 30-minute plays, it depends on the environment. So this environment right now, if volatility is above 20, I'll do 2 weeks. If it's higher than 20, or lower than 20, sorry, if volatility is lower than 20, usually I will maybe buy myself that extra week, 3 weeks, just for a 30-minute play. But usually I'm not taking a 30-minute play if volatility is below, I would say 1504. So if we're below 1504, it kind of seems like to me, hey, we can keep squeezing. This could just pull back with time. What I more would look for now is 30-minute divergence and 2 hour divergence at the same time with volatility. And then I see the same thing on the SPY. That's what I would look for. That's what I'll be talking about on this channel. Near fib 0.618. So there's a problem with GME right now, and you need that 30-minute to flip back up. They're struggling with AMC, that's for sure. But you need this 30-minute to flip back up. During the big moment, the 30-minute was not able to confirm back down. You want to see AMC during the big moment, the 30-minute was not able to confirm back down. See that? So it could be big wick, but I mean, if you just look back, you'll see this, and you barely even got a red bar once this thing happened, right? Gap up, one red bar, look ever since. It's like green, one red bar at the end of the day. Gap up, and then that's when it really started to flush. So yeah, that's more what I'm looking for, is just, is a 30-minute remain curled up? If AMC's is curled up, it has a shot. That's great. But GME's curled down. So it makes me a little more worried. Now, GME did have the reversal signal in some way for a pullback on the 30-minute. May have sold them a little too soon. Hey, if it's for profit, then you go, thank you. Gold and silver, I'm worried about gold just because of where it's at. I think you could see a bounce, but you're not. That's a big problem. This is really where you wanted to bounce from. And you have multiple things to tell you that. There's one thing on Patreon that's telling you that. So this is a big move outside of weekly expected move at this point. Might even be outside of monthly. I got to check because that's a massive move. I brought it up in my video. It might be tagging a monthly, actually. Yeah, it's outside of both a weekly and a monthly. So that is suggesting that you have a 68% chance to bounce by the end of the week. You have a 68% chance to get back above this level by the end of the month. So what is going to happen with gold? Are we going to see it with data tomorrow, right? Are we going to see something with data tomorrow? In the near price action, you're probably going to see a little 15-minute divergence, suggesting this will bounce. And it will be outside of a monthly and a weekly. So gold can see a reaction here. But is it really a great structural move to head up? I don't think it is. So even this one, even if it had a 30-minute divergence, which it doesn't on the MACD, it does flat a little bit up on the RSI. It's there, but you're getting another 15-minute curl down that's making the divergence in the near price action. So if this 15-minute curls up, okay, you got a shot. 30-minute follows it, okay, you got a shot. But is that going to be some massive move? Well, depends on CPI. Does that come out hot? Right? Gold's the inflation play. And we get plenty of data throughout the week. All right. Well, I think that's all I got in me for today, guys. I got to hop off. I do appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for liking the video. Really do appreciate it. Everything's still right. You only have a couple of weeks left to really get those courses for 90% off. Those are down in the description if you want to learn a little bit about what we are talking about here. The technical analysis course using indicators course is down there in the description. That's only $100 right now, and that price is about to go way up. So thank you guys so much for being here today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to my Patreon members who told me they really did appreciate the monthly and weekly update. We kind of mixed those together for yesterday. But some of the things we were paying attention to, I think we're good to bring up those monthly expected moves as we're seeing a lot of things move above those monthly expected moves in November. So it just tells us we still have to be a little on guard if any reversal signals do pop up. To be clear at the end of this video, the SPY and the Qs do not have any even 30-minute signals to suggest a 2-hour pullback is coming. The SPY and the Qs do not have a 2-hour signal that suggests some kind of bigger correction can happen. So pay attention to that. You are still overall in a short squeeze. Volatility is overall subsiding. You are below the 200. So you have to pay attention because these things can continue. And trying to short a short squeeze is very worrisome unless you see very, very, very good signals and you're not seeing, you know how to manage risk. You gotta know how to manage risk, all right? That's why that video is in there at the end of the course. So you can actively manage your risk with more than just a stop loss. So thank you guys so much for joining today. I really do appreciate it. I think we had a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun moves happening. I'll keep my eye on stuff throughout the day and be posting some stuff to Patreon if I see anything interesting. Okay, interesting, worth updating. And if some really crazy stuff starts to happen, there's always a chance I pop up live later on. So turn on those notifications. Thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for bringing up great questions, great charts for me to look at. It's a lot of fun and I really look forward to it every single morning. So thank you guys. I hope you have a great day. Good luck with your trades. Peace out. I need to do another full day stream. Who's thinking about that? Oh, thank you, William. I appreciate that. I need to do another full day stream at some point. We'll look into that soon. See you guys.